being a politician it's so much about trying to, I think, in that you're trying to read that other person, and I think are they going to misread that person? And
you can't even kiss babies anymore.
I was going to say the kissing babies thing, they did that. That's such a weird thing. I've never kissed a baby that I wasn't related to. I haven't even kissed a baby I was related to, I think. So it's like it's such a weird time, you know, and I don't think there's any way, you know, that again that there was nothing I could say to do to address that
in the book or anything,
you know, or even in the book, you know.
Well, when did you start? When were you writing the second one?
Yeah,
in terms of
the second book was actually finished before those allegations came out,
and before he even announced that it was definite.
And before he announced he was definitely in the race. So I thought about going back in and making some changes, but it was just too late in the process. We'd already had the advanced copies out and everything, and I had made some other changes, but. There are some things in there that I think people will go, oh, is he making a joke about this? And I'm like, I wasn't, because I had, you know...
You didn't know.
I mean, people knew he was handsy, you know? His nickname in high school was, I'm not kidding, Hands.
Really? Okay.
Because he had the best hands on the football team.
How much research? I never got that. How much research did you get into actually putting
a ton of research, and you know that's the thing. I thought I knew, you know, this guy as well as I could know him, and I talked to people that knew him, and you know, and you think you know someone that well,
right? And
so that when someone comes out and says, "Oh, well, he did this to me," your first instinct is to jump in and try and defend that person. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take a step back and listen to what's going on and sort of try to read the room and see, you know, I think right now the majority of people that I've talked to have said that they're like, he's an old guy, we expect him to be sort of grandfatherly in that sort of way. That, you know, can make you uncomfortable. And obviously, you know, I think that he's got the message that, you know,
the world has changed.
The world has changed, and if he doesn't change, you know, he's not going to get that type of, you know, support for the nomination. But
will that really matter? He can change. Will it even matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter
because he lived with the normal way of thinking before the world. Has changed to nothing is okay. A politician can't even kiss a baby anymore without being like, I'm waiting for someone to like. That guy kisses babies. All right, that's
I know. It's so complex.
Was JFK a pedophile?
I know. I can't even. That's why I can't even give, you know, like a straight. I'm not being evasive.
No, you're not being evasive.
It's just I can't.
But in terms of saying, I wasn't sure if you had actually created a character of Joe Biden, or that you were trying to actually use a Joe Biden based on something. So it was based on stuff that you would actually.
Yeah. The Joe Biden is based on stuff that I learned about him.
So it's not a character. It is a character, Joe Biden, but it's a.
It's pretty. It's closer to reality than the Onion Joe Biden.
Right.
But it is still a caricature in a way, because, you know, the real Joe Biden in real life, you know, people are like, oh, he swears up a storm behind the scenes when he's angry or something. But most people have this sort of grandfatherly impression where if he swears, it's going to be a big deal to them. So I was like, well, I can't have him swear. At first I had him swearing in the books, then I'm like, I think that would be kind of jarring for people if he was saying F this and F that. You
wanted to still keep it. You still wanted to keep it the television version of Joe Biden.
Right. So it's a TV. It's a PG-13
Good brother,
version.
the meme version. The meme version.
Exactly.
Because that's always, you know, Barack's on the phone and Joe's like, yeah, whatever, it's all good, man.
Yeah. So it's not reality, but it's sort of it's adjacent to reality.
Which wasn't even. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't sure how much you would actually try to, or you were just using it as a center point. And I'm assuming the second book, which I obviously haven't gotten a chance to read, is even more centered in a real mystery than this first one, which was kind of like almost a small mystery that got bigger, but and the second one is on a more
this one's a little bigger scale. It's a bigger city, Chicago. You know, so it's a fun book. They do tackle some serious issues, though, hopefully in a way that you know, is respectful to those issues. But at the end of the day, it is a mystery novel,
still a comedy, I assume.
And what's that?
And still a comedy.
Oh yeah. It's it's in the same way that I would say, like Lethal Weapon or
Okay.
Die Hard or something tackles these issues. I mean, it's sort of. Again,
Would you feel like it's a
reality
lethal?
adjacent.
Is it a Lethal Weapon 2 to a Lethal Weapon 1 in terms of scale?
No, I think this one's more of a Die Hard in scale.
But Die Hard. So Die Hard 1 to like a Die Hard 4 scale then?
No, like
because Die Hard 2 was a horrible scale.
No. So the first one was sort of like Lethal Weapon, and I said,
okay, a scale.
The second one is kind of like a Die Hard type.
Oh, okay.
They actually do like there's a scaling of a skyscraper.
Oh, okay.
And, it's like Joe Biden is barefoot.
Okay.
So it's I think I wanted to change it up and sort of change the action movie model, and so it's a little different than the first one, but I think it's still a fun book, and people that have read it have said they like the Joe Biden that's in the book. Maybe they'd
rather vote for that Joe Biden than
some people have said what's come out about Joe Biden is affecting how they're going to vote for him. But I mean, if you look at the polls, he's still way up there.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to stuff like that.
It's a long time between now and next summer when the convention.
I feel that guy Pete's doing some pretty good stuff.
I just read Mayor Pete's book. Which is an amazing book,
and he feels like he's making some leads. So.
He is such a smart guy. He knows like 32
You think he'd be a good detective?
He plays piano.
So he'd be a good detective, probably.
There's nothing he can't do. I mean, Mayor Pete is his own character, So I think it's a long time. I think right now, again, Barack Obama plays a huge part in these books too. So
even bigger than the first one,
I think even bigger than the first one in this book.
Okay.
And Michelle Obama is in this book.
Okay.
Rahm Emanuel's in this book.
It gets a lot more political than the first one.
Yeah. Some people have said it's a little more political. We don't talk about Trump or any that stuff, but we.
But I mean, just reaching into that world more than.
Yeah, so we're reaching a little bit more into the world, and so it's a different book. I didn't want to write the same book. I could have written another book set in Wilmington and small town mystery.
That would have been.
I said, you know what? I want to do every book that I do. Yeah. If we do a third one, it's going to be completely different. It's just they're not going to be in space.
Espionage.
They're not going to be in space, but. In this book, though...
Or if he becomes president, that could be even more of an interesting third book.
Yeah, so you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't intend to, even if I do a third book, I don't intend to really... I'd have a hard time writing about, someone saying that he touched their shoulders and made them uncomfortable. I don't think I'd make a joke about that because it's...
So you wouldn't make that possibly where he's investigating, possibly where some of them are really fabricated and he's really trying to find out what's the real agenda.
I don't think I don't think I would turn that into a plot line because
you'd want to still keep it more a regular mystery, but just happening to star a realistic Joe Biden and a slightly more fun-loving, crazy Barack Obama.
Yeah. I don't know how fun and crazy Barack Obama is in real life.
Right. I'm saying your Barack seems a lot lot fictional than the Joe does.
He's not going to pick up a shotgun like he did in the first book in real life.
Right.
He's not going to
tackle a woman.
He's not going to wear the tan suit again like he does in this book.
Right.
He wore that once, and that was a big enough scandal. I mean, this is the biggest scandal of his administration. The tan suit that he wore, and so he brings that back in this book, and
he's more like he's the character you use to go they could do another level, I guess.
Yeah, he's almost like the
he's Briggs.
Yeah, he's Briggs. He's the Captain Jack Sparrow. He's kind of the he's otherworldly. He's off.
Right.
He's his own thing, and you can't. I thought about, do I humanize Barack a little more? And I'm like, no.
No, I like how
you want to have him be sort of off limits and unknowable and sort of mysterious.
Almost superhero.
He's Batman. You don't want to see Batman take his cowl off. How does Batman use the restroom with the cape and the whole? You don't want to know.
Well, I think we kind of know, but
Wait, you know how Batman uses the restroom?
there, he has that whole tool belt. So,
Do you think he
if he needs to,
are you saying
that I think maybe the tool belt might have something.
the tool belt has
Something
maybe
attached to a cod piece,
catheter?
like a cod piece or
I think,
something. Not a catheter, but like a cod piece.
I will say this. Not a lot of people know this, but if you look at the original Ghostbusters costumes that they have in the movies, there's actually a tube that is hooked up to a catheter. They supposedly are wearing catheters while they are fighting ghosts.
Just in case.
Because just in case, they said in case they're so scared that they may urinate. And I'm like, first off, that's not how a catheter really works, but it's interesting. There are these little tubes that go on the side of their pants. And
I'm gonna have to.
Strange.
So
strange.
So I'm gonna rewatch the movie with a whole new vision now.
I know.
Thanks.
Just imagine them catheterized the whole time.
I will. Appreciate it, man. That was